The fluorescent lights of the Skopje airport hummed with a sterile energy that buzzed in Peregrine's ears. He had just landed, the recycled air of the cabin still clinging to his clothes. With a heavy backpack and a heart full of curiosity for the Balkans, he followed the signs toward the exit. Before he could step out into the crisp Macedonian night, he realized his wallet was empty of the local currency. He needed dinars for the journey ahead, and the bright kiosk of the currency exchange beckoned like a lighthouse. Peregrine approached the glass partition. Behind it sat Dragana, her face a mask of professional indifference. He pulled a crisp banknote from his wallet. 1,000 euros, please, he said, pushing the money through the small gap. He had checked the rates online before boarding. He expected roughly 63,000 dinars. It was a significant sum, meant to fund a month of exploration, photography, and fine dining across the countryside. Dragana took the euros without a word. Her fingers moved with the practiced speed of a dealer, counting the bills twice before feeding them into a machine. She didn't look up, her gaze fixed on the glowing monitor of her terminal. The clicking of the keys was the only sound in the small alcove. She reached for a stack of orange and purple Macedonian bills, her movements fluid and devoid of hesitation. She pushed a tray through the slot. Peregrine gathered the money and began to count. 51,000, 52, 53,000. He stopped, his brow furrowed. He counted again, slower this time. The total was the same. "Excuse me," he said, tapping on the glass. "There seems to be a mistake. According to the market rate, this should be closer to 63,000. You've given me 53,000. Dragana didn't blink. She pointed a manicured finger toward a small, laminated sheet taped to the side of the booth, obscured by a decorative plant. In tiny, cramped font, it listed a service commission of 15% and an airport convenience spread. "The rate is posted," she said, her voice flat. "The transaction is processed. There are no refunds once the receipt is printed." The moral weight of the theft was hidden behind the shield of a predatory contract. Dragana turned her back to the window, attending to a stack of paperwork as if Peregrine no longer existed. To her, this was not a matter of ethics. It was a business model designed to exploit the weary and the uninformed. She had performed this ritual a dozen times today, turning a traveler's excitement into a silent profit for the kiosk. The law protected the printed word on her sign, even if justice wept at the deception. Peregrine looked around, desperate for an ally. A security guard named Zoran was standing a few yards away, leaning against a pillar. Peregrine waved him over. "Officer, please," Peregrine began, gesturing wildly at the booth. "I've just been shorted 10,000 dinars. This is highway robbery." Zoran walked over slowly, his heavy boots echoing on the polished floor, his face etched with the weariness of a man who had seen this scene play out far too often. Zoran sighed, looking from the traveler to the glass booth. "Legally, son, she has followed the rules of this private concession," Zoran whispered, leaning in so the cameras wouldn't pick up his voice. "They set their own rates here because they know you are tired and trapped. It is a parasite's logic. My uniform allows me to keep the peace, but it does not allow me to fix a bad deal. In this airport, the law and what is right are two different languages." Peregrine felt a cold knot in his stomach. It wasn't just about the money. It was the realization that the very gates of the city were designed to trip the newcomer. This was a lesson in the architecture of greed. He looked at the bills in his hand. The convenience cost him a week's worth of meals. He realized that the greatest right a customer has is the right to walk away. But that right must be exercised before the hand leaves the pocket. Peregrine shouldered his bag and walked toward the exit, passing a group of tourists heading toward the same booth. "Don't," he warned them, his voice firm. "Wait until you get to the city center. Use an ATM or a local bank." He stepped out into the night, the air finally feeling fresh. He had lost his money, but he had gained a sharp clarity. The airport exchange is a gatekeeper that demands a ransom. From that night on, he would never let a bright sign hurry his judgment again.